Hello and welcome to hankgames. My name is John Green, manager of the AFC Wimbledon Wimbly Womblys. Today taking on Oldham Athletic, the Owls. Nothing strikes fear into my heart quite like an owl. Today we're starting up front Lyle Taylor, the Montserratian Messi, as well as England's greatest lyric poet, T.S. Eliot, Thomas Stearns Eliot. Very exciting to see T.S. Eliot back in the starting lineup. He's been complaining. I don't want to criticize my players, but they constantly complain via email, which also seems weird. Like, why don't they talk to me in real life? As you can see, we are the first best defensive team in the league, just ahead of, not even going to say their name. Today's topic comes from Project for Awesome donor Matt McCombs. I don't know why I like saying your name like that, Matt, but I do. Matt McCombs. Who wanted me to talk about making a midlife career change, which is something I've been thinking a lot about lately, because I'm 39, and if I'm going to do it, now's the time. Like, I can still go to medical school, but only just barely. I'm going to be honest with you, Matt. I've thought a lot about making a midlife career change in the last couple of years. I think the whole first part of my career, I wanted some very specific things that I don't want as much anymore, for a variety of reasons. Partly because I want to spend more time at home. I want to spend more time with my family. It turns out that most days, if I could choose to be anywhere on the planet, I would choose to be in Indianapolis, which is a big surprise to me because there's nothing particularly glorious about this city, except that my life is here and my family is here, my dentist is here. You know, I don't like being more than about 15 miles away from my dentist. And the career that I've chosen involves quite a lot of travel, especially because I am my brother's brother, and my brother has a hobby of inventing conferences. Like, that's his, I would say, number one hobby. But also, you know, just like books and movies involve travel. Now, I do really want to publish another book, and I also really want to. That was dangerous. I also really want to go on tour for that book. I miss going on tour. I have really fond memories of the 2012 Tifios tour, and it was a really special time for Hank and me and Catherine, and I'd like to do that again at least one more time. And I love writing. I can't really see myself quitting writing. I could see myself quitting publishing, but I can't see myself quitting writing. I like it too much. It's just good for me. It's good for my brain. It makes me happy. I feel a lot more kind of stable, I guess, when I'm writing than when I'm not. And sometimes I think, well, maybe that would change if I just like consciously decided to retire from writing. Like, don't give up, don't give in. That was a terrible. That was a vintage example. T.S. Eliot just showed you what a shass looks like. That is a shot that is also a pass and ends up going out not for a goal kick but for a throw-in because it is so far off target. So it was a little bit of desperate attacking by me. I hit the B button too hard too many times, so I take responsibility for that. This one is on Ossiosi Manager, not on T.S. Eliot. But I'll still say I think all John Green finishes that 10 times out of 10. Danger! Danger, Will Rogers! Everything worked out better than expected. And then we did that. That was from overhitting the A button. I love button mashing. It's my favorite part of playing video games. And FIFA 17 really does not reward button mashers. There we go. I've been maligned. Oh, no. Meredith. Our star center back, Reese Oxford, 15-year-old Reese Oxford, is injured. Now, obviously, you aren't personally responsible for this. Except that as assistant manager, it is sort of your job to tell me when to make substitutions. And I don't know what happened to it, but it looks terrible. It looks like, look at what, Shia LaBeouf, just crushed him. That's all right. We got Robbo. We've gone from having our 16-year-old center back Reese Oxford to having our 42-year-old center back Paul Robbo Robinson. Welcome back to the club, Robbo. You're going to do great. You're going to do great things. That's kind of on me. The truth is that whole thing only happened because of my own button mashing. So I want to apologize to Reese Oxford and to Meredith for throwing her under the bus. Obviously, she couldn't have known to make a substitution in the 20th minute. And then, of course, like the other thing is that no matter how great your job is, and I have an amazing job, when you've done it for a long time, you start to think, oh, if I had a different job, it would be better in some ways. Because there's parts of every job that you don't like. You know, for me, there's like a lot of paperwork parts of my job that are just not fun. Like that's the part of publishing that I don't like. And then also it's just there's a certain amount of stress in publishing that I would like you're kind of exposing your soul to the world, and then they get to judge your soul, which is a weird feeling. But largely, I mean, you know, in most cases, it's a good one. Like I've been really lucky in that respect that people have been so generous with my work over the years. Oh, that was an amazing clearance. Great job. I would like that. I'd like that center back if he's available. Goodness gracious. Sent them right on the counterattack too. So I think like part of the mid-career, like part of the idea of changing careers for me is this like fantasy that the things that I don't like about my job would go away, and of course I don't know the things that I wouldn't like about all the other jobs. Like I don't know the parts of being a doctor that would be terrible. That was a joke, by the way. I'm not really going to go to medical school. And the truth is, like, even if I did have a different career, I'd want to do most of the things that I do now. Like, I'd still want to make Wimbly Womblys videos. I'd still want to make a Vlogbrothers video every Tuesday. But those aren't really jobs in the sense that they don't, provide income. So, most of the work that I do during the week is stuff I love doing. It's just also not stuff that, is, like, technically a job. Everything worked out better than expected. Plus, we passed out of the back. But you've got to say we are not having a great game at the moment. T.S. Eliot had one gilt-edged opportunity. Other than that, Oldham Athletic have had the majority of the chances. And we've had apparently a serious injury to our 9-year-old center back, Reese Oxford. So it's worrisome. Things are a little bit... They're on a knife's edge, and we're only 2 points ahead of the team that shall not be named in the League One table. So we've got to find a way to win this game, and that's a good start. T.S. Eliot, he headed it down brilliantly, but not quite brilliantly enough. Yeah. So what would I do? You know what I'd really like to do? I'd like to own a movie theater. By the way, all of the mid-career change jobs that I imagine for myself are ludicrous. I don't know if this is common among people who are having midlife crises, but they're all just things that they're like jobs that either don't exist or that I am like clearly romanticizing. So one example is that I would really like, when I lived in Chicago many years ago, there was this theater called the Bruin View. And basically, it was owned by one person, and that person every night would show 3 movies, one at 8 o'clock, one at 10 o'clock, and one at midnight. And for $7, you could get a ticket to all 3 movies. Now, you didn't get to choose what the 3 movies were, but you could also buy beer, hence the brew in the Bruin View, which made it, like, totally manageable not to be able to choose your movies, because at least... Oh, God, I need a little bit of a better finish from Parrot in that situation. All right, you know what this game needs? This game needs the ginger Messi, Alfie Egan. Little Alfie Egan, it's time for you to come on. He's only 14. Some people call him the new golden child. And then I'm actually going to bring back on Reeves, because that would be stupid to take him off. And then I'm going to bring on John Green for T.S. Eliot. I think that's the right call, because John Green is a known quantity. And by quantity, I mean finisher. So I would like to own a Bruin View where I pick the movies every night, and but only cool people come to the movie theater, and they never cause any trouble, and they don't have unrealistic expectations, and so I just get to watch two movies and two movies every night for the rest of my life. That sounds like a pretty good job to me. But I bet there's paperwork. I bet you got to file for your taxes and stuff. And I bet there's like a licensing process for getting beer. I remember, so like early in my life, I thought that I was going to be an Episcopal priest. And really, when I look back at the moment when I knew that I was not going to be an Episcopal priest, which, by the way, that is also a mid-career, like a midlife career change I sometimes think about. I think like, well, you know, like I've already done the chaplaincy part of becoming a minister. And like, honestly, the rest of it is mostly learning Greek and becoming like a good minister, which I never was. So sometimes I think about that too. But then I remember like, when I was like 23 years old, I was meeting with the minister of my parish to talk about my time as a chaplain. And when I walked into to his office, he was looking through this catalog, picking out what kind of candles he wanted for the church. And I realized that like you have to order candles. And then you have to go to like a meeting where you talk about what candles you ordered and whether you can order less expensive candles next time because the church is low on money or whatever. And it just like the thought of having to order candles out of the catalog was really ultimately what ended my nascent career as a minister. So yeah, I think a lot of it comes from some level of fantasy for me. That said, now that we're 78 minutes into the game, let me just note that many people who are having midlife career changes are having them either because they're unfulfilled in their current careers or because they don't feel like they can get work anymore in their current careers. And those midlife career changes, I think, like, they're scary for sure. Like, my dad went through that, and I remember it really well because it was really... I remember it was stressful, you know, but it is also a really cool opportunity to get back to a place where you're learning really interesting stuff all the time. And I think that's healthy for somebody in the middle of their life. I think that is a healthy, I think it's like healthy in the sense that it's literally good for your health, to be... No. Literally good for your health to kind of just remind yourself that just because you are not 25 anymore doesn't mean... I'm using double negatives. I got to figure out a way to say this without using a double negative. Being in your 30s or 40s or 50s does not mean that you lack... Oh, God, I should have scored there. The talents or the abilities or the creativity to reinvent your professional life. And I think that there's something kind of empowering. I know that this is easy for me to say, but I do think that there is potentially something kind of empowering about that. Lay it off. It's a brilliant layoff, and then off the post, and then it's in the goal. It's in the goal. I have no idea how it went in, but the AFC Wimbledon Wimbly Womblys have emerged victorious in stoppage time. 1-0 victories over Oldham United. It's amazing. Oh my God, it was a brilliant layoff by John Green. Heroic, difficult, complicated. And then the ball seems to have gone in off of Lyle Taylor's right arm. Let's take a 17th replay of that. Can I just pause and go into replay mode? I'd like to get a slightly different camera angle if we could. And how do I change the... No. No, I'm not very good at replays, guys. I know that will surprise those of you who have become accustomed to watching me play FIFA over the years, but it turns out I'm not very good at replays. There should be a button. No, not that one. That allows me... Oh, this is the camera angle. That's what I'm looking for. What I need to see is this one is good. All right, let's see if I can... Let's see if we can roll back the... You know what? We're going to give up. That's in the end, Meredith, we decided to give up. The point is that it went in off of Connor Ripley. It's an own goal, my favorite kind of goal. In the 92nd minute, unbelievable scenes as AFC Wimbledon snatch victory from the jaws of drawing and it's just magnificent. And that reminds me that you can make changes late in your life, just as we made a change late in this game that can be amazing and might even result in an own goal. Thanks for watching. Best wishes.